Hello, my name is Bailey Radel, and today I will be discussing the Common Core State Standards for the online course CEP 400 through the University of Buffalo. So, what are the Common Core State Standards? These standards are educational guidelines adopted by 46 states and the District of Columbia in the U.S. by 2011. These guidelines state the knowledge and skills all students should know and be able to do at each grade level from kindergarten through 12th grade. These benchmarks determine students' competency in mathematics and English language arts. The ultimate goal of these standards is to prepare students for college and future careers better than past standards. So, why were the Common Core State Standards created? Like I just mentioned, in the past, states set their own standards and benchmarks varied greatly. As a result, it was difficult to determine whether a child in one state would know the same knowledge as a child in another state upon graduation. In addition, students would attend college, and then they would have to take remedial courses to supplement their inferior high school and elementary education, which is a waste of money and time for students attending college. In addition, students in the United States, before the Common Core State Standards, did not compare adequately to students globally, which will worsen the American students' chances of prospering in the world economy as this world becomes more and more globalized. So, how were the Common Core State Standards developed? A group of educators and other academic experts came together to list important skills and knowledge students should acquire by graduation. Then, after they created the standards for graduation, the committee spread this content out over 12 grade levels. So at first grade, you were supposed to know how to do certain things in math and certain things in ELA and so on and so forth. Other teachers provided feedback on these standards, and then they were revised. How did the Common Core State Standards change curricula? In mathematics, the standards list less content per grade level so that the teachers can go more in depth with each concept. In addition, the content builds on the previous year, allowing for students to build upon the material from, say, second grade when they go into third grade so that it makes more of a common sense linear progression. In addition, the content helps students to see how these math skills apply to real world situations, which of course prepares them better for the workplace. On the English language arts side of things, these standards shifted the focus from fiction to nonfiction works to allow students that are going into the workforce to better be able to read certain documents that they might have to read in their job. In addition, the content encourages higher level writing throughout each grade so that students know how to write at a college level by the time they get to high school. In addition, the content requires the comprehension of more difficult text, all for the same idea of preparing children for college and the workforce. What was the public response to the Common Core State Standards? There were largely positive and negative reviews. On the positive side of things, teachers who were more informed of the true nature of the Common Core State Standards, like what they were about, how were they developed, how were they going to be implemented, viewed them more favorably than teachers who had a misinterpreted view of them. Private vendors and other nonprofit groups especially profit from this reform, as they can now provide new versions of resources to schools across the country. For example, review books that are in line with the state standards for different assessments, new textbooks, etc. So their market for selling these resources have gotten bigger. In addition, military families were very pleased by the Common Core State Standards because people in the military have to relocate from state to state, and beforehand it could be difficult, say if people in South Carolina had to learn some sort of mathematical concept by second grade but when you get to New York State, you are supposed to have already learned it in first grade. That can be difficult for families. The negative reviews, some teachers, especially those in low-income areas, did not feel that they were adequately prepared to teach these new standards. And then states were also concerned that new assessments to measure student benchmarks would be too expensive and time-consuming. The article released from the Alliance for Excellent Education mentioned that it would be about $25 more a student to give out these assessments, and for some states that is a pretty big chunk of change. In addition, if you have to give out assessments in addition to other state assessments 2, 3, or 4 times a year, that can take away time from vital classroom time. In addition, some legislators felt that this was an intrusion on states' rights and the ability of teachers to decide their own curricula. However, the Common Core state standards are the standards, and then local teachers can create lesson plans around those standards, and also, in addition, the state can create their own local standards as long as they are superior or at least at par with the Common Core state standards. So, although the Common Core state standards have only been recently implemented with the 46 states accepting the standards in 2011, it's crucial to understand how important common nationwide standards are. These standards were put in place to ensure each child is prepared for the workforce upon graduation or for college and other future careers. Students should receive the same high-quality education regardless of their zip code. So a child in Colorado should be just as adequately prepared for the global workforce and higher level institutes of education just as someone in New York or Texas or New Mexico is. And that's why the Common Core state standards are so important. Thank you very much for listening, and these are the references that I used.